Good afternoon. I'm Marshall Mitchell, the pastor of Salem Baptist Church. We used to be in Jenkintown, we're in Roslyn, but we still are very much inside of the Philadelphia community and the Philadelphia Tribune. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this virtual installation of Philadelphia's most influential African Americans. This is one of the most important events of the year for the black community and all of Philadelphia. And it is my pleasure, my great joy to introduce one of my friends and uncle, Robert W. Bogle.
Hi, it is with great pleasure that we welcome you to Philadelphia's most influential African Americans. Today, we will recognize individuals who have the power to initiate change in our community. The 10 people under 40 to watch, leaders, movers and shakers, and most influential. These distinguished individuals we honor come from a variety of career disciplines and experiences. They possess the qualities necessary to make change in Philadelphia and in our communities. Their success exemplifies a tireless work ethic and determination that should inspire us all. This event would not be possible without the support of our presenting sponsor, Independence Blue Cross, and co-sponsors PNC Bank, PICO, Temple University, and Comcast. These sponsors join us because they have a vested interest in the fabric of Philadelphia and because they recognize the power and influence of the individuals being honored today. I want to thank the men and women of the Philadelphia Tribune who continue the legacy of our founder, Christopher James Perry, and our board members, Mrs. Lynette Brown-So, Mrs. Mary Livingston, Mr. Al Black, Mr. Robert Archie, Dr. Eric Hodges, Mr. Kimmel Dawkins, Mr. Bernard Smalley, and Mr. Willie Johnson. It is my pleasure now to welcome Lorena Marshall Blake, President of Independence Blue Cross Foundation and Vice President of Community Affairs for Independence Blue Cross.
It's a pleasure to be part of this special event, representing my colleagues at Independence Blue Cross. This event is a highlight of every year, and I'm proud to be here. For more than 130 years, people have turned to the Philadelphia Tribune to understand and celebrate the best in our community. This year, more than ever, the information the Tribune shares and the connections it fosters have been critical to the health and well-being of our region. Independence is proud to sponsor this celebration and to partner with our dear friend, Mr. Bogle, and the Tribune all year round. We share your deep commitment and respect for the African American business and civic community leaders we celebrate tonight. Today, we recognize individuals who have made extraordinary contributions to our community. We pay tribute to these trailblazers and the inspiration they provide to all of us. Thanks again to all of you and to the Tribune. Again, congratulations.
The Philadelphia Tribune's mission is to provide timely and compelling news that's both informative and relevant to the African American experience. 136 years ago, the same year that Salem Baptist Church was founded, in 1884, the Philadelphia Tribune began documenting the lives, activities, and times of the African American community in Greater Philadelphia. In 1884, Christopher James Perry, the first publisher of the Philadelphia Tribune, published its first edition. It was a one-page, one-man operation titled The Weekly Tribune. Today, the Philadelphia Tribune is published 5 days a week with a readership of more than 600,000 readers. And they still document great churches like Salem Baptist Church was on its cover several years ago. To purchase a subscription of the award-winning Philadelphia Tribune for as little as 25 cents a week, consider signing up today. Our Philadelphia Tribune reflects the people, events, stories, and times of our community. The paper continues to be a platform in the fight for equal access and opportunity. Sign up today at phillytrib.com/subscribe or call 215-893-5786 to receive your subscription today. All of the people honored today will be featured in this Sunday's very, very special edition. Please welcome Mark Jenkins, Senior Vice President, Market Leader, Philadelphia, Delaware, and Southern New Jersey for PNC Bank.
On behalf of the wealth management team and all of my PNC colleagues, it's a pleasure to be with you once again as a proud and longtime sponsor of tonight's event. It is an absolute privilege to join with Mr. Bogle and the Tribune team in honoring the contributions that tonight's honorees have made to our city, our businesses, and to our community. We believe in the historic mission and the critical role the Tribune plays in lifting up and celebrating our city by telling the stories of the Black community. At PNC, we share in that commitment through a focus on investing in the revitalization of neighborhoods and communities in Philadelphia, work that is often led by our local community developing banking group. The collective leadership and commitment to making a difference is admired and respected, and it will continue to strengthen our community today, tomorrow, and beyond. And this year especially, it's never been needed more. U.S. Olympian and champion sprinter Wilma Rudolph once said that you should never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each of us. If 2020 has given us any lesson to learn from, it is this: we need your influence. We need your greatness if we are to succeed as a city and as a community. So, may tonight mark another important step in your journey to greatness, to molding consensus and influencing our next generation of great leaders. Congratulations to all of tonight's honorees, and we thank the Tribune for allowing us to be a part of this very special event.
This is a group that I'm both happy and sad to present because I used to be under 40 and now I'm over 50. These are the 10 under 40. They're sharp, they're poised, they're smart, they're on the cutting edge, and they're the ones who give us the vibrancy that our community needs. These young professionals have already made a mark on the Philadelphia region, but much bigger things are in their future. This year's 10 under 40 to watch are razor sharp. They know how the world functions, they can use technology, and they're leading us into our bright and bold future, which is why it really makes sense for us to take the time to highlight them, their work, and their efforts. Man, I'm jealous of that group, the 10 under 40. They really understand media, which is why it really makes sense for us right now to welcome Brett Perkins, Senior Vice President, External and Government Affairs, Comcast NBC Universal.
On behalf of the over 10,000 Comcast NBC Universal employees coming from every zip code in Philadelphia, it is an honor for me to be with you to celebrate the Philadelphia Tribune's most influential African Americans. Comcast has a storied history in Philadelphia. It is where Ralph Roberts decided to start his company. Plant deep roots, and it's where those roots have sprouted up and into the skyline. And though we have grown to be a national and international company, we have grown from here. Philadelphia is our global headquarters, and for employees like me, it is our home, and we are fiercely proud of it. However, our Philadelphia history is no match for that of the Tribune, which began publishing in 1884. Ever since then, the Tribune has been committed to the social, political, and economic advancement of African Americans in the greater Philadelphia region. Today, the vitality of local journalism, and specifically the mission of publications like the Philadelphia Tribune, have never been more important to our citizens, our society, and our communities. The media environment we live in bombards us with information that too often brings more heat than light. Yet during these challenging times, we know we can trust Mr. Bogle and the Philadelphia Tribune to provide the compelling and relevant stories we need to lift voices of the Black experience in Philadelphia and inform our actions in our recovery from this pandemic. We also know that it is more important than ever to make sure the Tribune and media organizations like it are supported, to employ Black journalists, share their experiences, and tell the stories of our communities. And with a declining number of Black employees in mainstream newsrooms, it is even more important to celebrate individuals like those we are celebrating today. They are role models who can inspire the next generation. This signature event reminds us of the cliche, leadership matters. And this cliche has never been truer. These challenging times call for leaders who are effective and personally committed to make change. This is not a time for leaders to play it safe from the sidelines. Fortunately, with this event, the Tribune has gathered a diverse group of Black leaders who, in their various fields of endeavor, are actively engaged in making Philadelphia a better city. They understand the unique burden, obligation, and opportunity of Black leadership. Our heartfelt thanks to the Philadelphia Tribune for uplifting and celebrating these honorees.
Even at joyful moments like this, my heart is heavy and my head is crestfallen because my dear friend Earl Harvey passed very recently. Earl was a leader for African Americans, and not enough people listen to Earl. If you come to this church or Enon or Dare to Imagine Church, you hear us talking about the importance of Black business. And Earl was our conscience in that regard. We lost Earl, but we've not lost our heart for making sure African Americans finish first in business. And so with me right now, I just ask that you might still yourself for a second. Remember Earl. Think about how he might have helped you in business, but think at an even greater level how he helped to advance the interest of African Americans with respect to business, commerce, and industry in the city of Philadelphia. And now let us remember and reflect and pause in remembrance and in memoriam of our dear friend Earl Harvey. We need leadership more today than ever, not just in the Black community, but in the wider American community. We need the pastors, we need the bankers, we need the leaders of art and entertainment and culture. Leadership is necessary in America today. And I'm encouraged by all of these leaders. They lend their intellectual heft, their creativity, their care and concern for people and human beings of all walks of life. And I want to encourage you to get to know these leaders, the institutions that they represent, and the values that they reflect for our community, because they are not just defining our today, they're defining our tomorrow. Doug Oliver is really about business, the business of our city. He cares about people, and that's why he is the Senior Vice President, External and Government Affairs for PICO. And he's a good Kappa man. Yo, yo.
Thank you for joining us for this incredible event. The Philadelphia Tribune's annual Most Influential celebration is always one of my favorite events of the year. And while we can't gather in person at the convention center as we usually do, I'm so thankful for this chance to connect with all of you virtually. To my esteemed fraternity brothers of the most noble Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Bob Bogle, Irv Randolph, and you too, Pastor Mitchell, and the entire staff at the Philadelphia Tribune, I thank you for this honor and for the opportunity to share a few remarks. I also like to take this opportunity to congratulate my fellow team members, Ramona Risco-Benson, Fumi Williamson, and Tony Gay, who are also being recognized this evening. I'm so proud to work along each of you every day. For 136 years, the Philadelphia Tribune has been our region's most esteemed media institution, committed to the social, political, and economic enrichment and advancement of African Americans across Greater Philadelphia. When Christopher Perry founded the Tribune, he did so at a time when African Americans all over were fighting for equality. In 2020, we find ourselves at a crossroads, one where we honor the hard-fought wars of our past and celebrate how far we have come, yet we still continue to fight against systemic racism, systemic oppression that has targeted African Americans since arriving on these shores. During a time such as this, I'm most thankful for institutions like the Philadelphia Tribune, one that has documented our history, narrates our present, and shows us that a just and equitable future is possible for every single one of us. At PICO, we do more than keep your lights on in your homes and the gas on your stoves. We power small businesses, we power our commercial corridors and our leading institutions. As our region continues to feel the impacts of coronavirus, PICO has also continued to power our region's community organizations by providing the financial support needed to support our neighborhoods. Thanks to our ongoing partnership with the Philadelphia Tribune, we're also able to keep our customers informed, and we're able to provide them with the resources that they need to manage through this difficult time. On behalf of PICO, I thank the Philadelphia Tribune for your ongoing partnership and for being the true influencer in this region.
Now this is a great list. These are the movers and shakers. They make things happen in our community. They're committed to this region and a driving force. They're the engine of our community, which is why we are recognizing them and their work and their organizations and institutions today. It's an aspirational list. Get there, Philadelphia. Get there, other movers and shakers. You belong there, you'll be there one day. Now this next speaker, you could actually fill an entire library just with the books that he has authored. In many ways, he is the modern father of Black studies. And I can remember in high school when my parents would give me Dr. Molefi Asante's books. Dr. Molefi Asante is a professor and chair, Department of African American Studies at Temple University. He is amazing.
My name is Molefi Kete Asante. I am professor and chair of the Department of Africology and African American Studies at Temple University. I am very, very happy to appear on behalf of Temple University and to say that Temple's partnership with the Tribune on this occasion and at this event is extremely significant, both to Temple and to the Tribune. Over the years, since Christopher Perry in 1884 founded the Tribune, you have been a beacon for aspiration as well as an inspiration to the African American community, fighting always for justice and for fair play in the American society. Furthermore, you have always overcome the negative images presented about African Americans, where some media have often tried to represent us as being overrepresented in poverty and crime and underrepresenting us in terms of the economy, in terms of our productivity, in terms of our family, our leadership, and our achievements. But today we see the Tribune's recommendation, the Tribune's incredible record of recognizing the achievements of African Americans who have shown us what greatness can be and what it is. So today, President Bogle, Chairman Bogle, on behalf of President Richard Englert of Temple University and the Temple faculty and staff, we celebrate you, your board, your team, the great journalism of the Philadelphia Tribune, and the great recognition that you have given to this exceptional list of African American achievers. I personally want to thank you for continuing the struggle, because we know that victory is certain if we continue to push. Thank you very much, and we salute all of the achievers.
Now this is the group. This is the creme de la creme. This is the final group, and they represent the best of this region, the best of our people, and the greatest desires and hopes for Philadelphia. These professionals, they epitomize leadership, influence, integrity, and respect. They're the gold standard, and they remain committed to building a better Philadelphia for all of us. It is with extreme pride that we present Philadelphia's most influential African Americans. Wow, what a program. What incredible people. I have confidence now that the future with our 10 under 40 and our movers and shakers and our leaders and the creme de la creme are going to make sure that in these perilous times, we're going to be okay. And you might not have been on any of these lists, but we need you. We need you to lead. We need you to move and shake. We need you to be integrous, forceful, and thoughtful. So I hope this program was an inspiration. I hope being here at Salem helped to remind you we'll get back to church, we'll get back to business, and one day we're going to get back to Philly's most influential, and it won't be virtual. It'll be all of us again. It probably won't be noon, and who knows? The pastor even blesses the cocktail reception.